Welcome to Sustainable Packaging with Cory Connor. Today's guest is my friend Lisa Pierce, who's the Executive Director at Packaging Digest. How are you, Lisa?
I'm doing good, Cory. Thanks for having me. Love
It's,
talking about packaging in general and sustainability. So
it's
here we
an
go.
honor to have you on. We appreciate you and your wisdom, and what you do for the industry is really amazing. But let's talk about your background. How did you get into packaging?
Sure. I am so lucky that I am in the career that I am in. And when I say luck, there was a little bit of planning to it, but a lot of luck. I knew very early in my life, when I was in second grade, I knew I wanted to be a writer and a published writer. At that point, I thought I was going to be writing books, but then I got a job. I think it was the same month that I graduated from college. I actually graduated from college in the summer and got a job the same month that I graduated with a business to business magazine publisher, the largest one in the United States at the time, and that was Connors Publishing.
Hey.
Different spelling than your name, though.
Yeah.
Cahner's. Yeah.
Wow, that's unique. I haven't heard that spelling of my last name.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And at that time, I think they had like 30 to 50 business to business publications. Their lead one at that time was Modern Materials Handling, which was a supply chain book. And I was lucky enough that I was assigned to Package Engineering magazine. That's what it was called at the time. It shortly after that changed its name to Packaging, and then went through a variety of different acquisitions and ceased publication. I don't even know the years now, but I started back in 1982. So last year was 40 years of working in the packaging media industry. And
congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. And Cory, I have to say again, I really do think I have the best job in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
It's such a dynamic industry, easy enough to understand without any formal training. Of course, education is always helpful, but no formal training. And I have to say that I've never been bored, not even a single day. My job, and I don't think there's too many people who can say that.
I interview a lot of people, and I think you're right. This job is so fun. It's so interesting. It's so unique. It's so different every day. I totally agree with you. Packaging is constantly changing and evolving and adapting to the different needs of society. And it's exciting to see. But let's talk a little bit about Packaging Digest and what you do there day to day.
Day to day, I manage the content for Packaging Digest. And I am lucky enough to work with some of the top-notch editors, media people in the world, I believe. I work with senior technical editor very closely, Rick Lingle, and think the world of him. We have similar values, but we think differently. And if you've ever had any instances of where you either gel with your coworkers or you don't, I think those two things, sharing similar values, but thinking differently, I think that is the best, because it's a easy working relationship, and yet it goes well beyond just a working relationship. So think the world of him. He does a fantastic job for the audience of Packaging Digest. He's very focused on food and beverage and then plastic packaging. So he gets into the sustainability stuff quite a bit as well. I am jack of all trades at this point, having had so much time in the industry. I've seen a lot, don't remember it all, but I've seen a lot and really do appreciate having that history behind me as a base for where we are now, trying to put it a little bit more into context of where we are now and how it's different from what it was. And
Yeah.
and why.
Always
Always
changing.
try, yeah,
Yeah.
always trying to answer that question for the audience of why. Why are we seeing this? Why is this happening? Why is this good? Why is this bad? Things like that. So that's pretty much what we do at Packaging Digest. We're really not focused on any one market, which allows us to share ideas from market to market, which is kind of interesting. And when we get into talking about sustainability a little later, I'll be able to talk about how the
Mhm.
medical industry is able to kind of learn a lot from all the sustainability developments that and activities that have been happening in other industries.
Amazing. Yeah, exactly right. And the industry keeps adapting and keeps changing and keeps growing. So it's exciting to see. I had the honor of meeting you in person at Westpac this year in
Yes,
Anaheim, California. That was a great event.
that was
I s-
fun.
I saw you being interviewed. I said, "Who's that?" And they said, "Oh, that's Lisa. She's in charge of this and that and the other thing." And I said, "Oh, wow, I'd love to meet her." And we got the honor of meeting you, and that was really fun. But tell us about when you go to a show like that, because you are famous in the industry. What's your focus there?
Well, I am looking for just about what everybody else is looking for when they're there. What's new
Mhm.
in the industry? And that could be a new product, it could be an emerging trend, it could be a new supplier that might be fairly new, either a startup or just getting into packaging. Maybe they had been doing other things and just now getting into packaging. Some automation companies, for example,
Mhm.
doing that. And so looking for something new. I love to sit in on some of the educational programs that are usually special for these in-person events, getting to meet the people in the industry and continuing to expand my network as well as just getting out and being seen myself.
Right.
Because that and I don't discount that at all though, Cory,
Yeah.
because you say I'm famous in the industry. I don't know about that, but I've been around for a while.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, but there are so many new people that I'm just meeting these days as the
Yeah.
older generation retires and or God forbid dies, which is happening. So looking for something that's new, enjoying meeting new people,
Yeah.
getting a chance to talk about one of my favorite topics in the world, packaging, with a
Yes.
bunch of other geeks who are just as excited about it.
Me.
Yep, yep,
We packaging nerds unite, we say. Yes, absolutely. Well done.
yep.
I was very excited and honored to now be a part of IPPO, the International Packaging Press Organization. And I want to
Yes.
thank you and Tim Sykes and Lindy Hewson for bringing me on board. It's exciting to be a part of that team.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And as your application did bring up a lot of lively conversation with the group, especially the board, about what really constitutes a packaging journalist these days. There are a lot of different outlets for packaging information these days. As the supplier community has been very active in recent years in providing what we call content, blogs and videos, and other thought provoking pieces, what I would call editorial pieces, opinions.
Yeah.
And it's all been very welcoming in the industry, but it can also be very overwhelming because there's so many different sources of content these days. And how do you know which ones are to make it easy, which ones are the best ones, which ones are the good
Right.
ones, which ones are the ones that you can really trust?
Yeah.
And so, welcome. It is a
Thank you.
great group.
Thank you.
The editors of the International Packaging Press Organization are the leading packaging geeks out there all around the
Yes,
world,
I
all around
agree.
the world.
It's a global community.
It
And
really is.
so I had been focused so much on North America and thankful to have my eyes opened and expanded by many people in the industry, people in South Africa, Europe, all over the world, Australia. It's an incredible world that we live in. And we need to learn from each other on what to do and what not to do. And I think
Yes.
that's why the IPPO organization is so key to this. And that word is so important, trust. I built my career in 26 years, not 40 like you, but hopefully someday. And on the basis of what I say, I'm being honest about. And what I say is not just self serving, but to help the community. And I think you're right. Press has changed the way we view information. So many people have come up to me at shows and said, I saw you on TikTok, or I saw you on Instagram, or I saw you on LinkedIn. And I think that there's so much value there and so much opportunity to engage.
And the editors in IPPO really do take that very seriously, that trust factor very seriously. I know I do. The best thing is to get the news right. And as we saw in recent years in just the general media, that doesn't always happen. And yet there are opinions within the packaging industry community that are also worth sharing. And not everyone is going to agree with everybody else's opinion. I'm pretty sure I say things that not everybody agrees with.
Sure.
Actually, there's a little bit of a funny story
Yeah.
behind that. So many years ago, and to me, Cory, the years just have all run together. I can't keep track of like what year this happened in and what year that happened in.
Totally.
But many years ago, easily 20, 25, maybe even 30 years ago, I had the opportunity to meet Scott Beyondich, who at that point was, I think, maybe even a director of packaging at the time. He was pretty high up in Coca-Cola North America, their packaging department. And I met him at an Institute of Packaging Professionals event here in Chicago, and got to talking with him. And he made the comment to me at the time. He said, I always read your editorials because you always have interesting ideas. I don't always agree with them, but I always read them. And I thanked him. And then I thought to myself, well, what doesn't he agree with? I've always been right. And for literally to this day, Cory, whenever I write an opinion piece, an editorial, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if Scott would agree with this.
That's perfect. Yeah. And not everybody's gonna agree. They can't.
No.
It's not possible. And I think you're right. We need to be aware that's okay, and that we need to have an opinion and choose a side sometimes especially with these sustainability issues that we've been tackling as a community. So many changes coming up and a lot of greenwashing, but a lot of great things innovating the way into our society. Can you tell us a little bit about your thoughts on how we can educate consumers through media and through our networks on how to use sustainable packaging?
Yes, I'm so glad that we're talking about this, Cory, because I think it's key. I think we haven't been doing it correctly.
Yeah.
So hopefully, maybe we can do it a little bit differently in the future and have it make a difference. And I really do think it is going to be making a difference. In the past, the best way to communicate with consumers about virtually anything product related, brand related, was on pack. Have messages on your package, compostable or recyclable, whatever. And you're limited because there's only so much space on the package and only so many things you want to call out for each thing to actually get the emphasis that you want it to get. The more noise you have on the package, the less they're going to absorb, the less the consumer is going to absorb.
Right.
I am a big proponent of the how to recycle label
Yeah.
which is the initiative of the Sustainable Packaging Coalition. I gave a presentation last week in New York at the Eastpak show and was talking about e-commerce packaging, specifically for grocery, but started to talk about e-commerce packaging in general. And just happened to ask the folks who were in the audience, how many of you know about the How to Recycle label? And I was shocked
Yeah.
at how few did. And so the more news I can get out there about the How to Recycle label, I have no skin in the game at all, Cory,
Yep. Yep.
except that I believe that it is effective.
Mhm.
It is elegant in its effectiveness of communicating to the consumer what to do at the end of life with any packaging material this label was printed on.
Yeah.
And to me, that knowledge is what's going to help drive the consumer behavior. And I know the folks at the SPC have been doing studies along the way of how this is helping to move the needle. I wish that that label was printed on every single package that's out there, and
It's
maybe we'll
trending
get
that
there.
way. Yeah, I think you're right. It's a
It
great
is trending that
organization.
way. Yeah, but recycling isn't the only end of life scenario.
Mm.
And How to Recycle the label, they also have a sister label, How to Compost, which is still, there's not a whole lot of infrastructure in the United States at this point for compostable packaging. But we may see a little bit of that change. Maybe we can talk about that a little later
Yeah.
too. But as far as like educating consumers about sustainable packaging and recycling, I think over and above the How to Recycle label, I think the most important thing is not to misinform them.
Right.
And I think a lot of that is happening these days. Knowing as much as I know about the packaging options that are out there and how they fit in from a sustainability point of view, I have to say I've been disappointed, and that might be a euphemism, disappointed in some of the brand owners and how they have just caved to popular opinion, which is wrong, that plastic packaging is evil in this world, and just kind of buying into that and letting that statement just kind of like go out there without any argument whatsoever. And
Yeah.
I know you listen to your customers, try to give your customers what they want. But I think there's a higher level here, Cory, that I really want to talk about, and that's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's focus on that. Please.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the idea that so many brand owners are moving away from plastic packaging when that might be the best sustainable option kind of makes me sad. Explain why okay, so early on in my career, I learned that there is always a reason why a product is packaged the way that it's packaged. Okay? It might not always be a good reason, but there's always a reason. And one of the reasons that may not necessarily be a good reason is that's the way we've always done it. Well,
Yep.
behind the scenes of that means we don't have money to invest in new equipment,
Mhm.
or we need to use the equipment that we already have to its maximum use, if that's
Yep.
the right way of putting it.
Sure.
And all of those could be an economic reason, definitely, but there's always a reason why something is packaged the way it is. And tell consumers
Right.
why you're using PET for a beverage bottle, because PET is the highest recycled plastic out there, and beverage bottles are the highest collected package, and recycled PET is in high demand. So there's a whole business case for it.
Right.
Why would anybody in a PET beverage bottle leave PET with all those sustainable benefits that I just laid out? Did that take me a long time to make the
Right.
case for that? No. Was it easy enough to understand? Sure. Do you think most consumers would buy into it? hopefully, if the news is coming from a trusted source.
Right. Exactly. That's it. They have to believe what you're saying. And like you said before, not having skin in the game, not being the person that sells the PET bottle, telling everyone why it's so great, although that can add value as well. But it's nice to be a neutral party, which is why I think the people listen to groups like the IPPO community and enjoy your content online and magazine. Is it still in print? Is Packaging Digest still? It's not a magazine anymore.
We call it a media brand.
Media brand. Okay.
I occasionally still do refer to it as a publication, old school,
Yeah.
but a media brand. We're 100% digital, and we went 100% digital many years ago. I think it's 8 or 9 years ago at this point. And being a legacy print editor, I was in print for 30 something years at that point. I was afraid I was going to miss it.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe we were a little ahead of the game. We were not, Cory. We were dead on with the timing of it.
Yeah.
It made total sense economically, but also because this is how people consume content today,
Right.
digitally.
Yep.
And being a digital publication, it allowed us to expand the different types of content that we could do, the different ways that we could share information, whether it be through a video that explains how a packaging line works.
Right.
What do we mean by a forming collar on a vertical form fill seal machine? Well, this is exactly what we mean by a
Here it
vertical,
is, right.
forming collar. Yeah. So that's cool. Podcasts like this, which are like totally awesome.
Thank you. I agree. It's a new way of doing things. It's weird for me to think that I used to not do a podcast, and it's because it's such a big part of my life and my career now. It sent me all around the world, and doing this for the betterment of our planet. It's exciting to do that. How about you? What's next for you? You got any shows coming up? You going to Pack Expo? Anything you want to talk about?
Wow, sure. There's always stuff going on. I'm trying to think. I will be at Pack Expo in Las Vegas this year, definitely. And I'm also going to be doing the MinPack show, which is one of the pack shows within the Informa series of packaging shows that we do. Westpack being our largest one in California. We have Eastpack, which just happened last week in New York City. I was out there for that. We have MinPack, the Midwest Minneapolis show that we do. And I'm kind of excited about that one because that typically has been very focused on medical. It's a med tech hub in Minneapolis. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
I didn't.
And yet the Midwest is also pretty big with food and beverage manufacturing. So we're putting together, I don't have details yet, but we are putting together a pretty dynamic educational conference on food and beverage packaging for MinPack. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. Of course, Pack Expo, definitely a do every year, whether it's here in my hometown of Chicago, or if it's in Las Vegas, which I think everybody should see Las Vegas in person at least once in your life to just experience the craziness of Las Vegas.
Quite a city, right? Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Well, I look forward to meeting you there along with the IPPO team. I know Tim's going to be there. It's exciting to look forward to these, finally getting to meet people in person at some of these events. I think there'll be 30,000 people there at Pack Expo, which is amazing. I've been asked to speak there a couple times. So
congratulations.
Thank you. I'll be on the sustainability stage with my friend Jonathan Quinn and Adam Peak and Avelio Matos. We'll be talking about all kinds of things, packaging related, sustainability focused. And be doing some live podcasting from there as well. So really looking forward to all that.
Yep.
Lisa, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
I'm old school. If my phone rings and I'm not already on another line, which could be a Teams call, it doesn't have to be just the phone these days. I usually do pick up my phone if I'm able. Totally fine with that. I would say email.
Yeah.
But Cory, let me just switch screens here for just 1 second because Yeah. Okay. So a little bit ago, 2 years ago or so, the company changed its policy here as far as email goes, and it only retains in your inbox 6 months worth of emails.
Yeah.
And right now, I have 12,632 unread messages
Oh my goodness.
in my inbox. And yes, I am horrified at that, but that's the reality of my life. I was not hired to open and respond to email. I was hired to do another job, and reading emails is part of
Yep.
that job, but the flood of email is just
Overwhelming sometimes. Yeah. Yeah.
overwhelming. And so apologize in advance if you've sent me, not you, but anybody
Yeah.
out there has sent me an email and I haven't responded or been slow to respond. It's just, even the important ones, it's kind of hard to find and all of that. And so I, I would say just the best way is to keep trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Try
you
it
don't
again.
reach me, try again. Yep.
Well done. Well, it's been an honor to interview you today. I'm thankful for your friendship and for your wisdom, and excited to meet you again in Las Vegas at Pack Expo. Anything else you want to tell the audience?
Always open to conversations, having conversations about packaging. Even though I just said what I said about my email, if you've got something cool going on, I want to know about it. So harass me, keep trying. I need
Well,
to know about it. That's my job. It's so much is going on in so many areas. It's impossible for one person to know everything about packaging in general or just the news of what's going on. But I do have to try. I mean, that's my job.
yeah,
And so please reach out to me.
we're all in this together and try to make a difference. Well done. Thank you so much, Lisa Pierce.
Oh,
I
my
appreciate you.
pleasure. Corey, I
Uh,
really appreciate you giving me this opportunity to chat.
Thank you. And if you're listening, I want to thank Landsberg Aurora for sponsoring this podcast. I want to ask you to make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and stay tuned for more.